Okay, good day everyone. How are we doing? Trust we are all having a great weekend. So, without really wasting much of our time, family, I just want to quickly reveal to us guys the trade that I was able to, you know, catch during the trading week. So, before I get started, I share this idea with us guys on my YouTube channel. So, if you want to see how, I personally plan this trade, you can go to my YouTube channel and we watch the video so that you can see how I was able to plan the trade and all what I was looking after to see in the market, how it actually shows up before I would take my trade. So without really wasting much of our time, let's get started. So GBP USD, like what I shared with us guys on the trade idea, I said GBP USD, we are trading bearish, right? We are really trading bearish. So what I was looking for was a sell on what GBP USD. Let me quickly show us guys the idea because I share it with my team. And when it was time for us to execute the trade, I also call it. I also call the trade out, and we all ate we're all in blows. That was the trading week. So this was the idea right here. This was the idea. So if you wanna know what I was probably looking at, the all my confluences that allow me to what look for sell for here, when this zone right here will not hold, and all I was looking at this zone to hold. If you want to hear me out, what I was personally looking at in order for me to execute this trade, you can go to the video that I dropped, which is on Sunday before the market opens, right? So quick one, let's go family. So this was the idea, and we can see how it probably plays out perfectly, right? Perfectly. So on Europe USD, on GBP USD, I mean to say, on GBP USD, the idea that I share with us guys on YouTube, right? I was personally looking to sell down from here. I was personally looking to sell down from here. This was my first point of interest. This was my first point of interest. So I was anticipating if price should trace back to this zone right here, we should see a shift in structure on the 15 minutes time frame or the 5 minutes time frame, which price did not really what give us that confirmation, and they keep buying up. So this right here, I did not take advantage of the trade because what my checklist did not what align. What I personally look out for did not play out, so I just stay away from it, right? I just stay away from the trade, so I'm gonna delete that. So when I was when I was looking at this price action right here, this low right here has not been yet formed. And if you take a look at what happened right here, there was not there was no perfect close below this lower low. Some people will be like, this lower low has not been yet formed. But what allows me to look at this as a lower low is because I understand that when I'm looking for a break of structure, is by the body of the candle, not the wick. So if we take a look at what happened right here, if we took a look at what happened right here, we see what really happened here. We'll see that there was a what break of structure. Let's move to the 4 hours time frame. Let's look at the 4 hours time frame. Let's look at the 4 hours time frame. You will see that there was a break of structure on the 4 hours time frame. So they took out this previous lower low. Can we see that? Or as you use line chart, you can see we we took out this previous lower low by the body of the candle. So that allows me to confirm that this low is a valid lower low. So I should look at a new lower high to be formed. Then I sell down. Like the way I personally trade, I don't trade retracement. I always trade with the trend of the market. I always trade with the trend of the market. I don't trade a pullback, right? When I am bearish, I'm only looking for sells. When I'm bullish, I'm only looking for buys. So that is how I trade. That is how I trade. I know there are a lot of people that can trade the buy. I know that a lot of people that can trade the sell at the same time, right? But for me, I personally wait for the sell. I personally wait for the sell. And no matter how long I waited for the sell and price retraced back and failed to what give me my confirmation, I will probably just stay away from the market. I will probably stay away from the market because what I am personally looking at, they don't show up. So this was the idea. I was personally looking to sell down from this supply zone right here. I was looking to sell down from this supply zone. From this was my first supply zone, and like I said to us guys, price fails to what give us that confirmation, right? Then they break above that previous higher high. They break above this high right here. right? They break above this high right here. They liquidate all the peoples that are what selling down from here. All the people, all the retail traders that are selling from here, right? They swept out the liquidity, right? So, like I said on that video, if they what take out this high, then probably I'll be looking at price to come for this what dynamic liquidity. I'll be looking at price to come for this what dynamic liquidity, which we can see price really come seek out for that liquidity, and we have that mitigation. So after they mitigate off my what second point of interest, there was no still confirmation, right? There was no confirmation. So I did not take any sell. I did not take any sell. Then after I spot this, after price mitigate off this supply zone right here, which we can see, this supply zone that caused this break of structure. After price mitigate of this supply zone, then I refined this area where price mitigate off from, this supply zone that price mitigate off from. I refined it on the 15 minutes time frame to see where that mitigation actually happened. That supply zone that price really what respect that caused that caused this break of structure. So when I refined it on the 15 minutes time frame, I spotted a very nice supply that has not been yet mitigated. When I measured the 50% of that supply, they have not yet mitigated off their 50% of their position, which is the institutions, right? They have not yet mitigated off the 50% of their position. So let's measure that. We can see this was the last bullish candle before the down move, right? They probably came back, mitigated off the open, but they did not fill up the 50%. They did not fill up the 50%. So let me show us guys that. So they did not fill up the 50%. Can we see that? So let's refine this to the 50%. They did not mitigate the 50% of that supply zone. Then they started selling down. Price started selling down. And we left this liquidity at the top. We left this liquidity. So we can see how price retrace back, capture all those liquidity. We can see all those liquidity, right? We have those liquidity. So price retrace back, capture all those liquidity, then mitigate off that supply zone. Then we started seeing price selling down, right? We started seeing price selling down. So we have our first break of structure here, because this is where I first identify my break of structure. This is where I first identified my break of structure. Then I was waiting to see this retracement, this lower low to be lower low that was formed. I was waiting for a new lower high to be formed, and I was looking to sell down from here. Which price did not retrace back to that supply zone. Right? So I was just watching the price. I knew that since they did not retrace back to respect this supply zone, in order for price to keep selling, they probably will have this low right here. And once they take out this low, that will be like a more confirmation that price is really ready to start selling down, right? And once they take out this low, I will probably be looking at this supply zone or this supply zone right here, because all those supply zone looks clean to me, right? And they are also aligning with my supply zones that they are also aligning with the kind of areas of targeting that I look out for targeting, because I don't just look at supply zone. Once I spot a supply zone, then I highlight it. When I spot a supply zone, then I highlight it. No, there are checklists that allows me to look at my supply zone as a valid supply zone that I can look at for targeting, right? There is a checklist that I personally look out for, when looking at highlight my supply zone. So I don't just, because it's a last buy before the down move, then I don't just look at it that way. Because, there are high probability supply zones that if you highlight, you don't need to have too much, panicking, right? You don't have to have too much of panicking. You just have to have patience, right? You just have to have patience and see how price will be reacting off from those supply zones, right? So immediately when I spot this break of structure, this was a 30-minute break of structure. That really confirmed that this 30-minute break of structure that I spotted was a very nice confirmation for me that price will really start selling down, right? Because of this 15 minutes time frame, this 30-minute time frame break of structure. This was a very nice confirmation for me that that allows me to what really really look at this what break of structure as a valid break of structure that price should start what forming the new lower low that they have formed right here. So after they break this structure, after they broke the structure, I highlighted my break of structure. Let's annotate it. So on this trade, I really wait for fractal confirmation, honestly. So the trade was very, 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 very nice trade for me because there was a fractal confirmation. After the 1 hour time frame supply mitigation, I highlighted my word. I waited for that break of structure. After waiting for that break of structure, I highlighted my 30 minutes time frame supply zone again. I still waited for another break of structure. So can we see that confirmation, right? Can we see that confirmation just to allow me to confirm that this cell will be able to hold, right? That this cell will be able to hold. So when we have this break of structure, so we have a supply zone that fails to hold price right here. That supply zone was taken out. This demand zone, this demand zone that fails to hold price, we can see how they take out that demand zone. So where I was looking for sales, I was looking at this supply zone right here. I was looking at this supply zone because this was the last what bullish candle before the down move, right? And we can see how the left imbalance right there, we have a form of imbalances right here. We have a form of imbalance that price can potentially come back and fill up, right? Because we know that imbalance are what zones where price are always attracted to come back and fill up, right? So we have this imbalance right here, and this clear order block that also capture liquidity. So immediately when I spot this price action information, I knew that price should probably come back to this zone and give me a confirmation. Then I start selling again, right? Then I start selling. So when I was looking at this zone, I was also looking at this zone right here. I was also looking at this zone right here. Let's refine it on the 15 minutes time frame. Look very clean. And I've shown us guys, I think. I've shown us guys. So when I spot this zone right here, I was also looking at this zone. So I had this zone right here. I refined it also on the 15 minutes time frame. So can we see that last before the down move? So my anticipation was, if this supply zone right here will not hold price, then we should retrace back to this supply, right? We should trace back to this supply zone, give us a break of structure, then we sell. No break of structure, I'm not taking my sell. That was what I was personally looking for. That was what I was really really looking for. So we can see, right? We can see we have a gap of liquidity, we have that sell. I refined that supply zone on the 15 minutes time frame. So I was patient, right? Because we all know that trading is all about patience, right? Trading is all about patience. I was so patient in seeing how price will trace back to this supply zone, giving me that confirmation. So when price retrace back and mitigate of this supply zone, I took my sell from the 3 minutes time frame. I took my sell from the 3 minutes time frame, which I'm going to show us guys how price respected off my supply zone and how I was able to execute my trade without any panicking. So we can see after that mitigation, right? After that mitigation, I moved down to my 3 minutes time frame, right? I moved down to my 3 minutes time frame. So this is more or less like a fractal confirmation, right? This is more or less like a fractal confirmation. We have H1 time frame supply zone that was respected. We have a shift in structure after the H1 supply zone was respected. Then we highlight our 15 minutes, our 30 minutes time frame supply zone again, right? We highlight our 30 minutes time frame supply zone again, and we also waited for another confirmation to confirm the 30 minutes time frame supply, right? We wait for another confirmation to confirm our 30 minutes time frame supply zone. So it's a fractal confirmation, right? Immediately when I spotted all these confluences, there is no reason for me not to execute my trade because price has already totally shown me willingness that we can start selling. Price has already shown me that willingness of sell. So after the mitigate of this zone, I moved down to my 30 minutes, my 3 minutes time frame. I moved down to my 3 minutes time frame, and this is what I spotted. This is what I spotted. Let it load. After that mitigation, after we have that mitigation, We can see when price was what, retracing back to our what, 30 minutes time frame supply zone. We can see this order flow: high, low, high, low, right? We have a higher high, then we have a fail to what, create a new higher high, then they break below the previous higher low, which is this. Let's use the line chart so I can see that we have higher high, higher low. After mitigating of our supply zone, price failed to close above the previous higher high, then they break below the previous higher low, right? So that is a confirmation to me, right? That is a confirmation to me, right? My higher time frame supply has been mitigated, and I have seen a shift in structure, right? I've seen a shift in structure. So I highlighted this as a break of structure, another word, confirmation, another confirmation. So I highlighted that as my word. I highlighted this as a break of structure. It looked more clean on the 1 minute time frame. That is why when I shared the idea was, the idea was on the 3 minutes time frame, but on the 1 minute time frame it looked very very clean, more than the 3 minutes time frame. So let me just use the 3 minutes time frame. So can we see that on the 1 minute time frame there was a what, close above this previous higher high, which we can see right here. So we have a higher high, a higher low, right? Then we what, form this liquidity. You can see how they what, accumulate this, or how they accumulate orders right here. After accumulating this order right here, what can we see? We can see a what, a break. They took out this previous higher low. After they took out this previous higher low, what is our next anticipation? Since price has respected our what, higher time frame supply zone, our next anticipation is price to what, start selling down, right? Our next anticipation is to see price start selling down, because our higher time frame supply zone has been respected, and that confirmation that we are waiting to see have what, showed up. So there is no reason for me not to execute my trade, because I've seen all what I'm looking after to what I'm looking at to happen has already happened. So there is no reason for me not to what, execute my trade. So we have this what, this was my sell limit. After I spotted this what, break of structure right here, after I spotted this break of structure, we have this demand zone right here that fails to hold price, that fails to hold price, and price action probably break below the demand zone, and see how price break below the demand zone, and take out the previous higher low, take out the previous higher low. So my entry was right from here. Remember I told us guys the idea was from the 15 minutes time frame. How I wish I probably look at the 3 minutes, the 1 minute time frame. This will be my sell. My sell limit will be from here, right? My sell limit will be from here. But it was from the what, 3 minutes time frame. So this was my 3 minutes time frame supply zone, and it looked very very clear to me, right? So on the 3 minutes time frame, look very very clear. Let me show us guys that. On the 3 minutes time frame, can we see this was the last candle that captured this sell side liquidity? We have this sell side liquidity right here that are resting above this high. We have this sell side liquidity. This was the last candle that captured liquidity before the break of structure, right? Before the break of structure. So I was targeting this supply zone to sell down from, right? To see price retrace back, mitigate, and we sell down. So my sell limit was here. I think my stop loss was either 5 or 6 pips there about 11 pips, right? Okay, that was the second entry. I got 5 pips. So we have my stop loss above here. So let me show us guys the idea, the entry. I mean, we have the entry. I drop it to my team. This was the trade. You can see how we killed it, right? Where was the entry? Where was the entry? Okay, this was the entry. Can we see that? This was the entry. This was my stop loss above this side. Then immediately when I placed my position, I was just waiting. I was just sitting, right? I was just folding my hands to see what price will do next. So this trade right here, when I executed this trade, I was then I moved to Europe USD, and what Europe USD was really showing me was Europe USD was trading bullish, right? Europe USD was trading bullish instead of Europe USD to trade bearish. Because why am I looking at Europe USD to trade bearish? because GBP USD and Europe USD, those two pairs correlate, right? Those two pairs correlate. So I was really looking at Europe USD to also sell down, but Europe USD was buying up and GBP USD was selling down. So this trade right here, I was just looking at the trade and I'm already in, right? So I was just looking at the trade, like the trade really freaked me out. I won't lie to you guys, right? The trade really freaked me out. Like I almost closed my position. I almost closed my position, but with the experience I have, I've noticed this kind of situation before, right? This kind of price action whereby Europe USD will be buying and GBP what USD will be selling. Sometimes it happens like that. So I was just holding on, right? I was just holding on because all my checklists has met up, right? All my checklists, all what I used to look out for has met up. Higher time frame supply zone, right? Lower time frame confirmation. It has happened, right? So I was just sitting and watching. I was just sitting and watching the price. So I could have added another position right here, but the reason why I did not add the position is because of what I just explained to us guys. Europe USD is buying. So really when I get in on this one, I said I am okay with this position. Like I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. I was okay with this position. I could have had another position when this opportunity actually present itself and this opportunity. I would have had position, but I did not add any position. I was just holding this one position and I was probably waiting to see how price will actually go. So I did not add any position, but I see the opportunity. Yes, I see the opportunity, but I did not take it because the probability of this price getting me out was really high because of what I'm seeing on Euro USD. So I did not add position. So I was having uh my sell limit activated and I was just sitting and watching how price will probably what pay me off. Then my first TP was this low right here. I was looking at this 15 minutes time frame low because that was a low that I'm actually anticipating that price should also take out. Then the what H4 low, which is this right here, which is this right here. So those are the low that I was actually anticipating that price should take out, right? So we can see those good opportunity. How I wish I took them, I took advantage of them. We have a sell right here. We also have a sell right here. But I did not take advantage of those sell. I'm not going to lie, right? I did not take advantage of this sell. So it was only one position that I was able to what leverage on GBP USD. Then to my greatest surprise, price started booming down. Like this was my first TP at 1 to 5. Then I secure 1 to 3 first. After my 1 to 3 has been hit, I secure partial. After my 1 to 5 hit, I secure partial again. Then I moved to break even. Then I was risking free. So when this pullback was happening, my stop loss was here. So I was just looking at it. I was like, okay, if price will come back and take me out, it's fine. I've what take partial and I've break even my trade. So I'm risking free. So we can see price did not what take me out and it started selling down. So I was still on the trade. Price was selling down. I was just looking at the trade. And boom, my TP was smashed. Because this is where I placed my TP. My TP was here. My TP was smashed. A 1 to 12 raised to reward. A 1 to 12 raised to reward. And why did I look at this area right here as my area of TP? Because we have those sorts of those imbalances. We have imbalance, liquidity, this dynamic liquidity right here. So all those areas are areas where the institutions are always attracted to because those are where retail stop loss are, right? Those are areas where retail stop loss are. The people that trade trend line, right? The people that are buying from this trend line buy as this first touch, second touch, third touch, fourth touch, whatever, right? After they are buying, their stop loss is below right here, right? So we all know that the institutions are always attracted to those zones, right? So we had I was looking at all those supplies to be what all those trend line liquidities to be what captured. That was the anticipation, and we can see how price perfectly what capture all those liquidity. We can see how price perfectly capture all those liquidity. So my TP was here, this imbalance right here. That was where my TP was. That was where my TP was, and we can see. Let's go back to the 4 hours time frame. You can see how my TP was hit perfectly. We can see how my TP was hit perfectly. So this is how I was able to catch this cell after my supply zone was respected, and how I was patient to wait for that shift in structure. And after that shift in structure, I also wait for a pullback, another mitigation, another shift in structure before I involve on this trade. And we can see a 1 to 12 race to reward, a 1 to 12 race to reward. So this is how I was able to catch this trade, family. This is how I was able to catch this trade. So there is no any magical, right? There is no any magic. It is all probability. It is what I was anticipating, right? After I was anticipating, I was patient. After I was patient, I was, willing to see what will allow me to get into the trade, right? After what I was waiting for to happen, I what execute my trade with what my risk management, with my risk management behind my back. Because without risk management, trust me, family, trading won't really make sense, right? So you really need to understand risk management so that when you are wrong, your risk management will keep you in the market, will stop you from blowing your account and the rest of them. So this is how I was able to catch this 1 to 12 risk reward trade. So I have my second trade that I catch, I have my third trade that I catch, but I did not really share the idea with us guys the on the YouTube channel. So this is the only idea that I share with us guys on the YouTube. Um, I shared GBP and Europe USD. So I did not take advantage of Europe USD. I took a loss on Europe USD. I took a loss. I took 1% actually on Europe USD. I took minus 1% on Europe USD. So let me show us guys that. Europe USD, I also share the idea. I also share the idea on my YouTube channel. I share the idea, right? So probably if what I'm still anticipating will happen next week, I'm still looking to what short Europe USD. I'm still looking to short Europe USD. So I was looking to sell from here. This was my first point of interest. So right here, this is the idea. Let me search for this. This is the idea. This is the idea. I was looking to short from here. After price mitigate, I want to see a lower time frame confirmation, then I sell down. Right? So let's take a look at that. So after price mitigate, right, family, you can see we had a mitigation. After price mitigate, let's move to our 15 minutes time frame. What's happening? So after we had that break of structure, after we have this mitigation right here, we have this break of structure right here. This second boss. Look at this second, this low right here. This was our first break of structure. We first took out this low. So my anticipation was to see price retracing back to this supply zone, right? That was my anticipation, is to see price tracing back to this supply zone, which we can see how price retrace back to us out. And right now we're at our second point of interest where I'm still looking to sell down from. So I took a -1 on this guy right here. My entry was here. I share this idea with us guys on the on the YouTube also, because those are the only two pairs that I personally look out for my market review. Right, for my market review, I only look at Europe USD and GBP USD. For the other pairs, keep it personal for myself and my team. So we have this what form of mitigation right here. But what actually happened right here when I was watching this retracement to my supply zone, I see this large volume that actually price actually put on. Like just look at the kind of you know momentum that actually what approach this supply zone. I was really surprised. I was really supposed to take off my order. I was really supposed to take off my order because there was large volume that was coming to my supply zone, which stand a very high probability that price can take me out, which you can see it actually happens. So I was just looking at it, but I did not take off my order actually. I was just looking till I took a loss, till price hit my at my stop loss. So I was just looking, price came, hit me out. So what I'm anticipating next now, let's look at the 30 minutes time frame. Let's look more clearer. Oh, I'm not gonna reveal to us guys that. I'm gonna share with us guys on Sunday what I'll be personally looking at. Right? So Europe USD I'm still bearish because price is still respecting of my supply zone. So I'm still looking to short the market. So this is what I personally all what I did during the trading week. This is all what I did during the trading week. So there is nothing more than this. Right? There is nothing more than this. So if you really love what I'm doing, family, kindly drop that like button for me and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. But I will be dropping more of this. Trust me, family. So peace out, fam.